What's up, everyone? So, I think it's Wednesday right now. Yep. And I plan on uploading tonight, maybe tomorrow. Um, but I just realized I forgot to do an intro for this whole video. And it's been like 2 weeks in the making. So, today, you are going to be seeing the process of me making this drag wing for my 350Z. If the video is a little choppy or hard to keep up with, just stick with it till the end, and there's a big explanation of all the stuff that I did. So enjoy. Look at that without it. First look with a no wing. I kind of like it, to be honest. This trunk is not stock, which, I wonder if it was shaped for this wing, which would be strange. Here's an update of what's going on. Basically, I've got this cleaned off a little more now. There's a bunch of holes, so I'm hoping the wing will just cover them up. But right now, I'm sort of just making a couple of templates for the drag wing to try and see, measure twice, cut once type of thing. So, I know I'm already halfway through the process, and I really should have done this earlier, but here's a little video update of what's going on. So, I think I explained the pieces I had before, but here is a support that's fully, riveted up and everything. It's good to go. It fits to the car. Obviously, it doesn't fit the body line exactly, but all of these fit. Hey, go through the door! So we have 2 of those for the supports that are going to be chassis mounted. Then we have these end plates, which are going to have a 90-degree bend on them. And they're going to go up against here like that. And then there's the main plate. And yeah, it's just coming together slowly. We had to grind some stuff. We had to drill out the holes for all those rivets. So it's just taking its time, you know what I mean? But yeah, we getting there, baby. I forgot to take a video of the final product. So now I'm gonna go run out in the rain and show you. And hopefully you can hear me. So here it is, right? Hopefully you can see the curve we did on the back. It's not perfect, but it works. There's the end plates. There's the supports. There's mounting points, 3 on each. And then just the top plate that was shaped the way I wanted it. And I'm soaked, so I'm gonna go in and maybe slow that down if you want to take a look. To end out the video, I thought I'd just do like a quick recap of everything I did, because I know the videos were sort of just pieced together. The project was over a couple of days, so it was kind of hard to film and talk over the days. I started out, I made a prototype just out of card paper, I think, poster paper. So I made a prototype. I got all the right dimensions and everything, and I made sure it, like, all the lines fit to my car. I had to get a contour gauge. I'll put a picture of one if you don't know what it is with my editing skills. But the contour gauge helped me to get like the exact outline of the car so that I could get the supports and the end plates to sort of follow the curve of the car and look like they sit flush. So I went ahead and I took pictures from directly above on all of the pieces of card so that I could put the image onto the computer and then trace it on like a 3D software so that I would have my shapes on a 3D software. I basically just took an image, traced it of the prototype that I had made before. So then I had each of my parts on like a CAD file that I could send to my teacher because I'm in a welding class, and originally I had asked my teacher where I could get cheap like sheet metal because it's not cheap. It's pretty expensive. So he was kind enough to just give me free metal because we have it sort of stocked up in the class. And in that class, we also have a CNC plasma cutter. So he let me get some free sheet metal, which was insanely helpful. And then he let me use the 3D software to cut out the exact shape that I need. And I didn't have to go through the hassle of like tin snips or like an angle grinder with a cutting wheel. I did have to do an angle grinder with a cutting wheel just because the CAD file I made didn't really work with what I needed to do, and that was my fault. That wasn't the machine or my teacher or anything. But I just had to cut like little edges off and stuff like that. I'm sure I'll put a video, or you've already seen a video. So I'm just trying to think of like the tools that I've used so I can put all the tools and all the costs together so it can help you to see sort of what it costed me and the time it took me. So I'm just trying to think. Let me finish up with the process first. So I've got the metal in the shapes that I want. I had to cut them to sort of just make them perfect, you know what I mean? And then it was just assembling it. So we got some 90-degree bends so that we could just rivet those to the supports that are in the middle and to the end plates that are on the outside. So we riveted those 90-degree bends to the things, to the supports and the end plates, and then again we riveted them up into like the main platter, I guess, top sheet, so that it was all put together real tight and everything. And then we put it on the car. I think it took 8 holes in the trunk, but before you say I demolished a good trunk, there was already an insane amount of like awful holes because the person before me who put the other wing that I had on, they just absolutely destroyed the trunk. So the trunk was kind of already a lost cause, so I just thought, why not put 8 more holes in it and do this. So the tools I used were the CNC plasma cutter, the contour gauge to get the right line, the rivet gun to, like, because we had a pneumatic rivet gun, so that I could just, boom, get the rivets in real easy. Other than just like basic like Phillips head and like 11 mil and whatever, just for the hardware. Angle grinder I used to just smooth out the pieces, and I had to put a cutting wheel on and cut a little section off. So those are all kind of tools that like, so excluding the CNC machine and maybe the pneumatic rivet gun, Like, you can just get a regular rivet gun, it doesn't have to be pneumatic. But the CNC machine is kind of like something that's hard to access. So if you have a different way to cut metal, you can still do this. But that just made my life 10 times easier. But now let me go through the costs just so that you guys can take a look at what I'm talking about. So I'll put them up here as I'm speaking. So hardware and rivets, like nuts and bolts and stuff like that, that was 20. I had to get some clear coat because I made it out of, I think it's 16 gauge steel. So I had to get, it wasn't stainless steel. So I had to get some clear coat that I could put on it so that it wouldn't rust over. So the spray paint was like 25 bucks. The contour gauge I was talking about, that was 15 bucks. I got some seam sealer so that I could put it along where the top of the wing runs, so that as water comes down the body, it wouldn't go like under the wing, which I ended up forgetting to use, but I would recommend, if you were gonna replicate this process, that you did that. That was like 15 bucks. One of my buddies that helped me out, I bought him food for helping out, so that was another 25 bucks. And then obviously the biggest cost was the metal, which I got for free, but if somebody was to replicate this process, you would need a 4x8 piece of whatever metal that you choose. So if you were going to do steel, I would guess anywhere from 150 to 200 bucks maybe you could get if you did your research and found a good dealer. And if you were going to do aluminum, it's more like 300. So aluminum is, I mean, obviously if you have access to it, it's definitely the way to go, but I just didn't have the money to go and source aluminum. And it's a drift car, I don't mind 2 pounds more. But yeah, I think that wraps that up. I hope this video wasn't too hard to follow, because I know it's going to be super choppy. And also, sorry about the upload schedule. I know it's not been great, but you know, me and Evan live 4 or 5 hours away, so it's kind of hard to make content. Sort of like just to organize content and try and plan out videos and stuff like that, but we're gonna try and do better. I think Evan's gonna make a new video pretty soon on his new Subaru build that I don't think has been on the channel yet. So look forward to that, and peace out.